Martin Scorsese's mob drama The Irishman, starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci, tells the story of hitman Frank Sheeran and his life working under mob boss Russell Bufalino and Teamsters leader Jimmy Hoffa. The film is based off a book called I Heard You Paint Houses by former homicide prosecutor Charles Brandt. The real-life Frank Sheeran, on his deathbed, spilled the beans on his life full of crime, betrayal and regret, and Brandt collated information in interviews, researched the authenticity, and wrote and published the best-selling crime novel I Heard You Paint Houses in 2003. This book was read by Robert De Niro, who took a liking to it and saw in it a potential project for his long-awaited reunion with Martin Scorsese. Fast forward to 2019 and the film has been made and is being touted as the last great mob picture. It's been quite a journey from the film's inception to its release. There have been many delays, actors dropping out only to be coaxed back in, problems with getting the film financed, a lengthy shooting schedule and pushbacks due to the film's extensive use of CGI. Most of these issues only happened within the last few years though, sometime from around 2016 during the filming of Silence when Scorsese was putting everything together for The Irishman. There was a period though, from around 2010 when De Niro said they hoped they would start shooting The Irishman soon, which was followed by seemingly no development on the film, and fans could be forgiven for asking, why was the movie not made in that period? Well, author Charles Brandt says he is to blame. The author says he was first contacted about the film in 2009. He said he received a call and, I quote, "It was, 'Hold for Bob De Niro, he wants to talk to you.' This would be the first of many conversations between the two, and De Niro at the time had questions about the book and wanted to know if the author had any material that was not in the book. De Niro asked many questions, from wanting more information on Bill D'Elia, who allegedly took over Russell Bufalino's crime family after his death, to requesting more anecdotes from Brandt regarding Frank Sheeran. I asked, 'Who are you, the FBI?' joked Brandt. Brandt sent recordings of Sheeran's conversations with him to De Niro, and a month later the author found himself in a meeting room with Scorsese, De Niro and Oscar-winning screenwriter Steven Zellane in Manhattan. At this time, Paramount Pictures were attached to make this new project. Zellane had already written a script, and what was supposed to be a 1-hour meeting lasted 4 times longer. Brandt introduced the trio to new material, showing them new characters that were associated with the story, and giving further details to the historical elements of the book. When he was done with his lecture, Brandt says the trio looked like a grenade went off in the foxhole. With this newfound information, Zellane would be required to make a heavily revised script. Brandt claims he handed one he himself had written for the film, with the new additions, to help Zellane. Zellane is a great writer, don't get me wrong, Brandt said. I wanted to log the material. Apparently, the new material that Brandt gave to Zellane pushed the film back, and it lost its place in the release calendar. Scorsese would become very busy, having went on to make Hugo in 2011 and then Silence in 2016, before going back to The Irishman, which had since been dropped by Paramount and picked up by Netflix. Brandt is quoted as saying, "I blame myself" for the film's delayed release. He was also asked about what he thought of the final film. "It was a masterpiece," he said. "I was gripped by it even though I knew what was happening." He and his wife mentioned that the opening scene of the film, which begins with De Niro sitting in a chair telling his story, was eerie as it felt like he was seeing the now deceased real-life Frank Sheeran doing one of their many interview sessions. So everyone's having their say on The Irishman, and so is Brandt here, and it's not every day a book author enjoys one of his film adaptations, let alone calls it a masterpiece. It's also interesting hearing Brandt fill us in on the delay the film experienced, explaining that he threw a lot of new information at the filmmakers which required them to revisit their script. It's good news for me personally, because I've read Zellane's first script, and if this news means the final film is different and stacked with a lot of new stuff, it makes me even more excited for it. The Irishman is set to be released on Netflix on November the 27th. Thanks for watching.